Three guys offered to walk me home, then I found out they'd just killed someone. This was in 2015, when I was 15. I was sleeping over at my friend's house, and we were home alone. We smoked some green herb, and we were really baked. We realized we needed some munchies at about 1 a.m., so we walked about 2 miles to the 24/7 grocery store. My friend was really paranoid the whole time we walked, thinking someone was going to jump out of the bushes or something, I don't know. We made it to the store, we got a crap ton of snacks, and my friend said she was too scared to walk back home, so we sat in the little lobby in front of the grocery store trying to find a taxi. We only had cash with us, so Uber wasn't an option. While we're sitting and failing to find a taxi because we live in suburbia, where there are no taxis in the middle of the night, we saw a group of 3 guys around our age come in. 5 minutes later, the 3 of them run out of the store, all holding some kind of liquor. The one employee half-heartedly chased them to the door, but then just shrugged when they escaped and sighed. At this point, we realized we weren't going to find any taxis, so we decided to suck it up and just walk home. We were leaving the store and walked past this little sitting area maybe 75 feet from the grocery store entrance. There were 3 guys just chilling and drinking their free booze. One of them shouts if we'd like to join them. I immediately panic whisper to my friend, no, but for some reason she says yes. I don't know how she was too scared to walk 2 miles in the dark, but not scared enough to say no to these guys. Well, I'm not leaving her, so I sit down too. They give us each a beer and we're talking about random high school stuff. They all seem to be pretty intoxicated already, and one guy seems to be on something else too. He was incoherent and flopping around the ground. Not in a I'm dying way, just in a I'm really effed up way. We sit there for maybe 20 minutes before my friend realizes maybe this wasn't a good idea. So we look at each other like, let's get the F out of here, what are we doing? And we say we need to get home. They say they don't mind walking us back, and say that maybe they can come to my friend's house and smoke some green herb. Which obviously isn't a great idea, and we said we were fine thanks. But they followed us anyway, so we decided to walk around to the park nearby her house, and then ditch them there. They threw the one really messed up guy in a shopping cart and offered to carry our shopping bags. We did buy a lot of munchies, so we agree. We throw our stuff on top of the guy. They were nice guys, we were just not down to have them in our house, and they were very pushy about wanting to come over. We made it to the park and they dispersed. Then the messed up guy tries to climb over the playground fence but gets stuck and just stays there hanging over the fence. The other 2 start horsing around the playground. My friend and I grab our stuff and make a break for the trees. They didn't even notice that we'd left. We got back to her house, laughing about how weird that whole situation was, and dive into our munchies at last. We pass out in front of the TV. The next morning, her mum comes home while we're making some breakfast. We're just chit-chatting when she asks if we heard about that hit and run over a substance deal gone wrong involving some students at a rival high school. We hadn't, so we asked for more info. She pulls up a news article showing 4 mugshots, 3 of which are the guys we met the night before. Turns out they and a girl tried to get some green herb without paying for it and ended up pushing the dealer out of a moving car or something like that. Maybe she climbed on the side and fell off? I don't remember. Anyway, it killed this lady. So we just look at each other like, what the frick? I feel like the extra messed up guy was the only one feeling true remorse at the time. At least that's why I hope he was driven to get so messed up. The other guys were just laughing and joking, like other than the fact that we saw them steal booze, there was no indication that they were dangerous, because even that isn't a big deal and they seemed like everything was normal. Just a shame all round. Poor girl and her family. In short, met some sketchy guys in the middle of the night and hung out with them for a bit. Realized the next day they killed a girl hours before chilling with us. So it turns out your friend has some of the worst wasted instincts of all time when she's on the old herb. Lucky for you that these idiots also seemed so off their rocker that they got distracted like children at a park. Perhaps they didn't know that the person they'd pushed out of the car had died yet? I can't imagine ever being that nonchalant after ending someone. Or maybe the stuff they were smoking was several orders of magnitude beyond the devil's lettuce that the author and her friend had been imbibing. I'm glad you didn't let them anywhere near your house, though. Feels like the story could have been very different if that had been the case. I also have to give a nonplussed slow clap to your initiative on making sure that you brought your snacks with you. Not sure that many of us would have done the same, but then again, that might have also been a decision influenced by the wacky tobacco. Also goes to show that if you ever want to take that particular green medley again, the munchies are more or less inevitable and you should probably stock up on snacks beforehand. That's what a lot of the narrator's friends do, although maybe that's just a symptom of me only hanging out with other adult nerds. A self-post about my secret shame as a choosy beggar. When I was in junior high school, I was a poor kid living in a highly affluent area. I was like one of 10 poor kids in the whole school. Everyone else had doctors and lawyers and CEOs for parents. The schools were so well-to-do there wasn't even a free or reduced lunch program. Parents, actual parents, made meals to bring to school for the kids who didn't have lunches. They did it every day. They were not just cheese sandwiches, they were full-on meals with sides, desserts, drinks. I got one once with a puffed corn thing called pirate booty, and I went and complained that pirate booty sucked. The social worker who handed them out said she would tell the parent. I've regretted that for the last 20 years. I was a spoiled little jerk. Parents made lunches for kids, not their own, and I complained. The thing is, pirate booty is actually pretty good now that I have it as an adult. I still regret it to this day. Haha, so the narrator is like 90% sure that your social worker was being sarcastic to you. And even if they weren't, I can't imagine that a parent who was told that would think anything other than ungrateful little crap, and continue serving whatever they so pleased to the kids that they were assigned to. You were the jerk, but it's a great sign of character that you were able to look back on things like this with shame. Because, as we've seen in many other stories, there are plenty of other grown adults who are just this entitled and don't have the mental capacity to understand and learn from their own awfulness. Grounded because of my grades? No problem. When I was in 8th grade, my dad got my midterm report that said I had an F in math class. Dad told me I was grounded until the end of the month. I asked him, so no phone, no TV, no computer? That's right. Until the end of the month? Exactly. Okay. The next day, my dad found me on the computer playing games. What the hell are you doing? Didn't I say you were grounded? I smiled and nodded. Yeah, until the end of the month. End of the month was yesterday. Today's the 1st. Dad called me a smart aleck and threatened to ground me longer. In the end, I spent a week reading books and listening to music, and my punishment was forgotten about after that. Okay, no true jerk here, just a little crap bag of a kid, behaving like exactly what he was here. You're in the wrong, but it doesn't matter, and your family needed to password their computers to prevent against this kind of thing, just like mine did. If you like Am I the Jerk, you're probably going to love Am I the Genius. Check it out, linked below. Also, go to amithejerk.com/submit if you would like to submit your own stories. My girlfriend kicks me off my Spotify account every morning. I couldn't be happier. My girlfriend, 22, and I, 23, live together. My day starts off much sooner than hers does. I'm usually at the office at about 6:30 a.m., which is about when she starts waking up. One of the first people in the office, so I always put headphones on and listen to music as I start my day. I get about 15 minutes of music before it stops and I get the notification that the output device has changed. This is because we have a Google Home that's hooked to my Spotify account. When my girlfriend wakes up, she starts her day with, "Hey Google, play," so she has music when she's getting ready. I always just leave my phone open to see what she's listening to, and when she heads out around 7:30, I get my account back. I'm sure that she has no idea that she's participating in this little routine, and I have no intentions of telling her. Sure, it'd be easy to swap it to her account, and I love to know that she's awake and starting her day listening to her favorite songs. Another benefit of this is that now I know what her current favorite songs are, so when we get in the car together or we're just sitting around, I know what songs will spark joy. Some days I think she's onto me. We're both very happy together, and I plan on proposing here in a few weeks. I'm excited to spend the rest of my life with her. Okay, so some more context to everyone writing in. Your support is wonderful. I'm so happy that you all enjoyed seeing a snippet of my relationship with my girlfriend. She's my favorite person in the world. If you think I'm sweet, you should meet her. We met about 5 years ago in college. We argued over a seat in calculus and then ultimately decided to team up academically because we were in the same major. We were best friends for about 3 years and now we've been dating for 2 years. We live together with 2 wonderful cats. The engagement ring comes in about 2 weeks and we have a trip planned next month to have a romantic getaway. I love photography and we both love hiking. Due to this, we always go hiking with my camera and tripod. We always take photos together at the peaks, so I plan on doing that when I propose. I'll try to post an update when it happens. Love isn't some grand gesture. I've learned it's just a lot of little things that add up. Ooh, an update on the engagement. For anyone still listening, I adore you. The ring is in. It's currently hidden in our home. Due to us finding a cute little townhouse to move into, we'll sadly be moving during the time frame that we'd hoped to go on our escapade, so it got cancelled. I hope to propose soon, but I want it to be meaningful. For that reason, I'm unsure when it will be. For those of you that have stuck around this long, I appreciate you. I hope to return here soon with some wonderful news. Until then, I wish the very best for you. Okay, final update in case anyone is still paying attention. I proposed today. I apologize that it took so long. Thank you to anyone who was still keeping tabs. There were a lot of moving parts in our lives that delayed the proposal, so I'm thankful that I finally could. In the end, it was wonderful. She cried, I cried, our parents cried, and our friends are all ecstatic. Now it's time to celebrate and begin wedding planning. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with this wonderful, wonderful woman. Okay, this was a lot more than the narrator thought we'd be getting based on the title. I can see why maybe we thought it was a jerk story, but you know what, we don't get enough stories of unbridled pure happiness on the channel, so I'm just going to leave it in. Best of luck to you and your beloved on your journey. May you continue snooping on her Spotify for many years to come. Entitled mother gets destroyed by a multilingual restaurant owner. So I was in a Chinese restaurant waiting on my curry chips to go, and I'm just talking with the girl at the till, making small talk and passing the time because the restaurant is empty. Then this presence descended upon the restaurant, and the entitled mother and her soon-to-be embarrassed son enter. And immediately this lady is obnoxious and overall not pleasant. She proceeded to demand chicken nuggets and chips for her son. I don't know why she decided a Chinese restaurant and not a local chippy. There isn't a McDonald's close to us. So the lady takes the orders and relays it to the kitchen. This is where this woman shows her true colors. As the chefs were making food and talking, it was in a Chinese dialect presumably. The lady scoffs loudly and says, "This is Ireland, we talk English here." I'm just shocked at that, and then the owner comes out fuming after hearing this woman shout in Queen's English. "This is Ireland, we speak Irish." And so he shouts in perfect Irish, which translates to, "You whale of a woman, you're a racist B-word and not welcome." I can't contain myself bursting out laughing as this lady is shocked that she's been shouted at in Irish, which she, surprise, doesn't speak, and she leaves in anger and silence. I go over to the owner who's laughing and I congratulate her on handling the situation. I got my food on the house, but I tipped huge. And here, tipping isn't really a thing, it's only for special occasions. That's really it, folks. I got a laugh and I hope this lady learned her lesson. Apologies for however the narrator pronounced that phrase wrong, Google Translate was of no help to me. I love it when these people are so completely defeated that they disappear without actually taking the object that they paid for. Given that the majority of our villains are also horrible grifters who'll collect every reason under the sun to get a free meal or service, it's a pretty clear sign of their defeat when they just up and leave never to be heard from again. A real fairy tale ending when that happens. Also, I have many dear Irish friends, and literally all of them would rather eat a mouthful of broken glass than be described as English. So this manager rubbing her superiority in the language in the face of this lesser, non-Irish speaking interloper, who can only speak the language of their colonial oppressors, must have just stung real bad. There's nothing a racist hates more than being shown that the people of other races might have integrated better and contributed more than them. And this lady sounds like a massive racist, so F her. Entitled mother complains to my boss, and he fines me for not selling tobacco and beer to her underage kid. A quick backstory. About 10 years ago, I was working in a booze and tobacco shop. It was a temporary job, which could have lasted for a longer time, but the boss ended up being a cheap D-bag who I dealt with later. It wasn't hard, it was like 4 days a week, 4 PM to 1 AM, 15 euros a day, but hey, it was still okay for an 18-year-old kid who was still in high school. Besides, the shop was in a block of flats across a street of mine, and I had free Wi-Fi, so it was cool. Now, since this was a local shop, there were regular customers, mostly smokers, who came to get their packs of cigarettes. Also, the legal age in Bulgaria for buying and consuming alcohol and tobacco is 18, and there was a sign that none would be sold to minors. but nobody cared about that. I have a strong moral compass, and I was raised to uphold the law no matter the consequences. So there was I at the register, minding my own business. Enter the shy kid, a 9 or 10-year-old boy with a good smile. He went up to one of the fridges, got a 2-liter bottle of beer, it can be sold in Bulgaria in plastic bottles up to 2 liters, came up to the register and asked for 2 packs of Marlboro cigarettes. Now, I don't remember the conversation word for word, but all of it was mostly as follows. I said, "I'm sorry, kid, I can't allow you to take the beer and cigarettes." "But why?" "It's against the law. You have to be at least 18 to be able to buy them." "My mum sent me, and Fiona's always sold me those." Fiona is my friend and co-worker. "I'm sorry to hear that, but just because she has, it doesn't mean it's right. Also, do you see the big sign above my head? It says it's illegal to sell alcohol and tobacco products to people under 18 years. Sorry, kid." I smiled to the shy kid and he smiled too and said, "Good day," and went out of the store. He was a good kid, and I thought to myself that his mum is not much of a parent since she teaches him to break the law from an early age. It took less than 10 minutes and here comes Mother Monster, our entitled mother. She stormed into the shop and started. "Who do you think you are?" "Excuse me? Who do you think you are for not selling my kids the things I asked them for?" "Mom, it's against the law. You can see the sign above me. Alcohol and tobacco are not allowed for people under 18 years old." "They're not allowed? What are you, a policeman or something?" "I don't need to be a policeman to uphold the law." "I don't give a crap about the law. Fiona and everyone else sell cigarettes and beer to my kid, and you made me come here and get them as if I don't have a more important job than dealing with your laws." "Just because they do it, it doesn't mean they're right. Now, you came for a beer bottle and 2 packs of Marlboro cigarettes. You can buy them, and I'll be more than glad to sell the items to you, but I will not sell them to your son. The law is the law." This lady grabbed the items and said in a rude and disgusting tone, "No wonder why our country is so poor. People like you ruin it because you think you're better than the others." Now this made me angry because Bulgaria has an overly corrupt government and no one cares about any laws. So I responded, "Our country is so bad, not because of people like me, but people like you. People who teach their kids from an early age to break the law. If there were more people like me who respected and upheld the law, we wouldn't be like this at the moment. Your boy is not supposed to get them, and real trouble can come out of this. A fine for you for asking me to sell the items to your child, a fine for me for selling them, and a fine for my boss for allowing this in the shop. Keep this in mind when you send your boy to break the law because you don't want to go to the shop yourself." She lives in the same block of flats where the shop is located, by the way, so it's really just a couple of flights of stairs. She retaliates, "You'll see, I'll get you fired. I know the owner of the shop." "Do it if you wish. That doesn't mean I'm not right. The law is the law." She goes out of the shop. In some time, I receive a call from my boss. He yelled at me for not selling the items to the kid and being rude and obnoxious to the customer, and I shouldn't feel more special than anyone else. He then proceeded to fine me with €30 for pushing the customers away from the shop, as if I'd worked for 2 days for free. When I protested, stating that the cameras would show everything, and I might complain to the police, he said that he had control over the recordings, and the camera could go faulty, and some recordings could be lost, and that I should consider myself lucky I still have a job, because he was understaffed and desperately needed employees. He also said later that the sign is for tax agents who were frequently coming in to inspect the shop, and he was obliged to put them up. I didn't do anything about this at the time because this was not the first time he'd fined me for bullcrap reasons and dealing with drunk and entitled customers. And I was planning to gather more evidence and take him down with a sweet bit of revenge. But that's a story for another day. In short, underage kid asks for alcohol and cigarettes. I refused, and his mother came storming in, furious at me for making her take the items instead of her kid, and then complained to the store owner who fined me with a 2-day salary for upholding the law. My boss is a jerk. Man, the only thing I can think of is that poor frickin' kid. I mean, your situation is pretty rough too, but if this lady is just using her kid for domestic servitude and running her booze and cigs, then I can't imagine he's getting a world-class upbringing. He seems sweet and mild enough. But yeah, your boss sucks, and it sounds like you need to record something else like this or gather some co-worker testimony if he's going to keep pulling that crap. Him fining you for that must be illegal as all heck. I hope he gets caught sooner or later. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. Put the playlist on in the background to finish listening to all the stories. Or if you want to check out some great music, check out easymode.com. If you like Am I the Jerk, give Am I the Genius a shot. Everything linked in the description.